Hey, gents, how we doing?
I joined from the wrong device. We got that.
Sure. All right, guys, with 2 minutes to spare.
Y'all hear me all right?
Yeah. Let's,
All right, good.
yeah, this is, okay, who is that talking? Sativio?
Sativio, yeah, huh?
Sativio, all right. Awesome. And, all right, well, let's do, basically what I wanted to do was just get you guys quickly together before we start here. First of all, thanks for joining. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. It'll be a little different. I'm Clint, Mr. Blayze, and so I see Sativio, and we've got Dark Rebel unavailable, and I see John O'Reilly joined, and Marf Gaming. So, and Hit's also joining. So, what we're going to do, one of the guys that I asked couldn't be here, so he's not going to be here. So it's going to be us four. Looks like we have, okay, we've got Marf, John O'Reilly is on, Strayflight is here.
Yep.
Is that the right way to say, is it Strayflight or Strufflight?
It's Strufflight.
Strufflight, okay, awesome. Yeah. All right, and we have Hit joining us. So,
nice.
Kind of what we're going to do, guys, is
just make sure one more time. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
All right, good. Just want to make sure.
Okay, who's this?
Who this? This is John.
Oh, John. Okay, great. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll have Skype running while we do the call, and the call is going to start right now. Basically, we're just going to go through, and if there's any background noise, just put yourself on mute, and we're just going to have a discussion. We're going to have, basically, we have about 6 game modes that we're going to review. We're going to review them, and I just want to have everybody say what you think about the game mode. If you like it, if you don't like it, and we'll kind of watch the stream and see what people say. We're just kind of getting a feel for what people like, because we're gonna plan on adding one game mode before Christmas, and then probably another one soon after that. So we just want to get an idea of what people like, what sounds fun, and we also want to make it unique. So, if there's no questions, we'll go ahead and start the stream.
One thing I would actually make sure, Clint and everyone in the call, just to get the pronunciation of my name correct, just make sure it's Sativio. All right.
Ah, okay. Yes, good point. Sativio.
By the way, the stream's been live for this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, are we live right now?
Yeah, we've been live through the whole thing.
Oh, great.
Good. Hi.
The wonder of technology when it's the second time you're using it, huh? Okay. Well, I guess if we're live, then we're live. All right.
Yep.
We're gonna officially start then.
All right.
Well, we're live, but nobody can hear us, right?
Oh no, they all heard everything.
They hear everything.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, hi everybody.
Yep.
No.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, that's all right. Okay. You're gonna probably laugh a lot here. That's why I said you're gonna have fun, because this might be the best comedy hour you've seen all week. All right. Well, let's go ahead and officially get started then. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen sharing here. Okay, now you guys tell me if you can see everything now. See my face and see the background.
So,
yes.
I can see it on stream, but not in Skype currently.
Yeah, you'll just see it on stream.
On stream? Okay,
yep.
Cool. That's all good.
Okay, we've got the Comments are blowing up. That's good. All right. Hi, everybody. Well, you already know what we're doing because I've already announced it. So glad everybody's here. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about game modes. And before I start, I do have to tell you that I talked to Bloody Duck earlier today. He helped me get the last couple things done on the streaming. And I told him that I'm going to try to match his energy, which is going to be difficult. You guys all know Bloody Duck. Hopefully you're watching his streams. I've been watching the last few days, well, a few weeks actually, and they've been awesome, haven't they? He just pulls the energy out of the group. And so if you haven't watched Bloody Duck, go watch him. He's pretty interesting. He's funny, and he'll keep you entertained. And so let's keep. Yeah, Bloody Duck is on fire. He is. I've got my phone sitting here so I can read the comments while I'm doing the stream. All right, guys. Well, we had a really good amount of people show up and pre-register, so that's awesome. And I'm excited to have everybody on board here. So let's go ahead and get started. And my man Hit is going to get us started with some game modes. So kind of the agenda so everybody knows what we're going to do. What we're going to do is I've got 4 players. I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5, but I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. I'm sure the community already knows you, but let's start with Hit and just go down the line, and each of you guys on the call with me introduce yourselves on the panel, and then we'll get started. So Hit, why don't you kick us off? Okay, Hit.
His mic is muted.
Maybe Hit's muted.
For me, by the way.
Okay. Let's start. Let's see. Let me look who we've got here.
Why is this not working?
There we go.
Ah, there you go.
There we go.
Am I working? Check,
Yep.
check.
We hear you.
Did it again.
Check.
Check, check. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You're working.
All right, there you go.
Check,
Finally.
check.
Having some issues right there, trying to do multiple things at once. Hey,
Mhm.
everybody. My real name is John Luperdale, but everybody knows me as Hit. I would like to say I'm the jack of all trades. I am just love gaming. Game for like over, let me see, how old am I now? I'm saying my age, but it doesn't matter. I'm 45 years old, so I've been gaming for at least like 37 years. All the way back to Atari games, so I'm very invested into video games. I love it. It's one of the things that I breathe, eat, and sleep. Clint could attest to that because I wake him up at any time to talk about games and new game modes or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, he mutes me at night. He has me on mute. So that's just me in a nutshell. So I'm all about gaming. And there's one thing that I realized to everybody out there. A developer can have a concept, an idea on what they want to do. But it doesn't matter what a developer wants to do. It matters what the people want. There's a difference. And that's what we're trying to do today. We all have ideas, and it's great. But at the end of the day, it's about what the people want, and that's what we will deliver.
Yep.
You can go ahead now.
Yep. Great.
Hey, the stream apparently is
it's
going
down.
bonkers right now.
What do you mean?
It's down. The stream's down.
The stream is down?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
constant buffering.
Oh.
Are you sharing?
You know what? I wonder if it's because I have Skype running at the same time on this computer. Here's what I'm going to do. Guys, here, everybody on Skype, I'm going to call you back on my phone. This is still going to work. I'm just going to free up my laptop. So I'm going to hang up here, and I'll call you right back on my phone.
Sounds good.
All right, hold on, guys. Let's hope the stream comes back up here. And Skype is reinstalling on my phone at the very minute. Okay, there it is. Now it's done. Okay, hold on. We'll be right there. Okay, hopefully everybody can still hear. All right, guys, is the stream back now?
Nope.
It's back.
Oh,
No,
it's not back for me.
it's not back for me. Your
Okay.
webcam is on, by the way. Or now it's not.
You know what? Maybe
Yeah,
I'll turn off my webcam.
I doubt it has to do with Skype taking up too much bandwidth. What program are you using to stream?
OBS.
What does it say in the corner? Does it say if you're dropping frames or like it might be red or something?
No, not. I see the audio mixer showing going up to not quite red, but it's in the yellow.
No. I'm sorry. Let me open up my own OBS so I can see what's happening. When I'm live, there's sort of a colored box in the bottom right corner, and it'll basically tell you what's going on in terms of the bit rate of the stream. And whenever my stream starts dropping out, there's just a red box that lets me know, and I just restart quickly, and that fixes it.
Okay.
So, do you see anything in the bottom right corner that might indicate that something's red or anything like that?
Yeah, it does. There's a red square.
Right, so I would click stop streaming and then their thing. So just quickly start and stop it. Maybe that'll fix it.
Okay.
That's what I do to fix mine.
Okay, great. Okay, I just did that.
There you go. Now it works.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, we're back up.
Okay, great.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, I'm glad you guys know all this stuff.
Whoa. Someone's loud.
Okay. Yeah, so if you guys can all just keep yourselves on mute unless you're talking, then that just makes sure that the sound's good the whole time. Okay. So,
Okay, I'm back.
all right. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's do the introductions. So let's go to Strufflight. Let's go to you next.
Hello, I'm Mr Blayze. I've been playing Bullet Force since about mid-2017 now, and I'm just pretty passionate about the game and really hope to see the community just get more engaged with it as more updates roll out.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yep. That's what we're gonna do. Great. Okay, Marf Gaming.
Hey guys, it's Marf, and I've been doing YouTube for about, I want to say, 6 years-ish here for mobile gaming. I've been playing mobile for about a decade now. I've been a part of Bullet Force ever since the first original test flight on iOS back when Lucas was doing everything basically by himself. I've been here and there in terms of Bullet Force, but ever since the beginning, I think I've stayed here and sort of been a part of this community, and I was previously a mod and content creator for the game, and I'm just very passionate about the scene here. And even though there's competition and whatnot, I think it's great that we're sort of kind of getting this new wave of players and this sort of revival of the game. So I'm just here to hopefully make it all good and help in any way I can.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, I remember when I did some calls back in the very beginning, and I remember you from those calls. So I don't remember if you were on calls, but I do remember your videos. So that's awesome.
Sometimes it's hard to get on a call because I'm very busy. But I've been making videos ever since the first test flight. So yeah.
Awesome. Great. All right. Next is make sure I say your name right. Sativio.
Yeah. Sativio.
Sativio. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Sativio. I am a PC content creator. I primarily aggressively snipe on PC. I've been a Call of Duty sniper, but I found Bullet Force from a YouTuber. I can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but I really love this game. And I hope to bring a bigger sniping community to both PC and mobile. I've been playing the game since I would say early 2019, so I'm a little bit new to the scene. But yeah, that's me. I'm a content creator, streamer, so yeah.
Awesome. So how long have you been playing Bullet Force?
Since early 2019, so I'm a little bit new to the scene, but I've been doing like sniping overall since 2017 when I was playing lots of Black Ops 2 on Xbox 360.
Okay, awesome. I actually watched your stream last night. I was amazed by how good you are at sniping.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm in a team called Divinity. They're not really associated with Bullet Force right now, but I'm hoping to get the team on track to have higher sniper standards in Bullet Force.
Great. That'd be great. We'd love to have them. One thing that we want to do, and Hit and I talk about this, and Josh, my son, talk about this. We want to differentiate Bullet Force from other games, and so maybe I've heard a lot of people say that they love Bullet Force for sniping. So maybe that's a niche that we can explore more, because we do want to make it more unique. And so yeah, I want to hear your feedback and input on all these things. So awesome, great to meet you. Okay, let's go to John O'Reilly. And you had a lot of ideas for me that you've already sent me.
I'm John. I'm John. You can just call me O'Reilly. I've been playing Bullet Force probably before the P90 was added, about 2, and I just the game has a special place in my heart because I've been playing it for quite some time, and I'd like to see it be the best it can possibly be.
Awesome. So your voice is a little hard to hear because you're cracking up a little bit, but you're breaking up a little. Basically, you said that you've been playing Bullet Force since before the P90 was added, right before it was added, and you really like Bullet Force, and you want to keep bringing your ideas. And so you guys know, John has given me a lot of ideas over email. He sent me a few emails with different ideas, and as you guys could tell, well, I don't know if you can tell, but I'll tell you, probably the hardest thing about running a game company is figuring out which ideas to add, because everybody has so many ideas, and there's so many good ideas. It's really trying to figure out what focus we should put on. So that's why I like to do these calls, so we can hear from everybody and do that. So, okay, did we get everybody on the phone on Skype?
I think so.
Okay, great. All right, well, and I'm going to rely on...
I think the stream's down again, so you might want to stop again.
Oh, it's down again? Okay.
Yep.
Should I just stop doing a video of my face, or?
Kind of tell, but it could be, do you see where it says CPU in the bottom right of the OBS window?
Yeah.
What does that say?
Well, right now it's 26%.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's overloading the CPU or something like that, but it looks like it's back up. So
okay.
And then you might want to adjust the text to where it's more centered, because right now the right part of the document is cut off, so we can't read the full text.
Oh, that's true. Okay, let me see if I can do that here.
You should be able in OBS to adjust the window, possibly.
Okay, is that better now?
It's still cut off a bit at the right side.
Okay, let me see here.
Doesn't look too much, but it's still a bit cut off, yeah.
Oh, you know what I could do? I can...
I wonder if his bit rate is really too high.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but the CPU usage, he said, was only at 26%, but it could be the bit rate. Even so, the frame is still pretty, whatchamacallit. Oh, there we go. Now we can see all the text.
You can see it? Okay.
Oh, most of the time. Only a couple sentences are cut off at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah,
It looks good now.
Okay, good. All right. So what we'll do, the goal of this live stream, and guys on the call, I'm relying on you to look at the comments. If there's any, there's any interesting comments that come up, just let me know, because I'm not even looking at the comments right now. So, okay, Hit, let's go ahead and talk about the first game mode that you have here.
Okay. The first game mode is called Wheels Go Round and Round. Now, I'm just kidding. With all the technical difficulties we have right now, people.
Yeah.
It's lagging. Yeah, that's me. It's it. All right. So with that being said, I was creating a game mode called Time Skip. Okay, let's get to the point. The first game mode is called Intel, and you see I put /demolition. Command just got word that the enemy has valuable data that the command center needs for us to win the war. Basically, resources are scarce, and the only thing on the middle of the battlefield that we need is a laptop to retrieve the data from the enemy's base. I'm going to cut it short, Clint, so we can get right to the point of the game mode.
Yeah.
So basically, scroll down some more. Yeah, scroll down some more. So basically, the goal of this game mode is to grab the only laptop that's available on the map, is in the middle of the map, make your way towards the enemy's base, create an uplink to the satellite in the sky, download their information, and send it to HQ. But the only thing about this game mode is also at the same time, the other team is in play and could grab the laptop, flank you, and do the same thing to your base. So it's a competitive game mode in which not everybody can rush. There's people who have to stay back and also guard their base, and you just have to work it out about who's best at doing what. So in this game mode, it's the best of 11 rounds. Each round is 5 minutes. No respawn until the next round starts. There's no generation of health. Laptop, which I already said, is located in the middle of the map. Identical in distance from each spawning team. If all team member dies, they will lose the round. If a team member makes the uplink and complete taking the data, the team wins. If a person makes the uplink, starts transferring the data, and the opposing team has 12 seconds to kill the uplink, which will result in losing the round. If a person can take the laptop, another thing is, let's say for instance, I grab the laptop, and let's just say CT is T. For everybody that don't know what CT is, counter-terrorist, and then T is for terrorist. So if I'm a CT, and my volume is low, really, let me see if I can turn myself up. I mean, I'm pretty much up.
Oh, you're fine in the call.
It's
the microphone. It's whatever is recording and uploading the audio for the stream is the problem.
Yeah.
I'm really
I
low.
think it should be better now.
Okay, check. 1 2 1 2. Okay, it's good now. All right, so I don't know. Let me just restart this whole thing then. Long story short, this game mode is called Intel. Right? You're funny. Glad you something from Universe 6. That's funny. So basically, what this game mode is, the laptop is in the middle of the map. You have to retrieve the laptop, make your way towards the enemy's base, retrieve the data from their computer.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Yeah, there's an echo. So one of you guys on Skype, if you can mute yourself, and I need to mute myself too. Hold on.
There's an echo. Check.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, once you grab the laptop, you make your way towards the enemy base, create the uplink in between the HQ command satellite disk, and still extract the data from the enemy's computer. And once you transfer the data, you win. The only problem is the enemy has the same equal right to that laptop, and they're trying to do the same thing to the counter-terrorists. So the goal is to protect your base, at the same time retrieve that laptop and complete the mission. So once again, going over what was no more echo. Okay, good. So once again, there's the best of 11 rounds. The time of each round is 5 minutes. There's no respawn until next round. There's no health regen. The laptop is of equal distance in the middle of the map for everybody. If all team member dies, like the CT team dies that I'm on, you lose the round. If a member makes the uplink and complete taking the data, the CT team wins. And this will go back and forth. If a person makes the uplink to transfer data, the opposing team has 12 seconds to kill the uplink. If not, it results in the round loss. If a player can take, this is another thing. So there's a scenario here where if a user Let's suppose I'm on a CT. Everybody knows counter-terrorist. So if I have the bomb and I'm going out with my team and I realize that I'm the only person, I had the laptop and I'm the only person left with the laptop on my team, I can draw out the round by hiding with the laptop and camping. Keep in mind the laptop will not show up on the radar. The only time the laptop shows up on the radar is if it drops on the floor. So just to let everybody know. So basically, if I'm up 3-2 and I camp, I can win the match for us. The terrorist team have to come and look for me. So it creates this whole other element that's going to be insane when it comes to that. Clint, keep on scrolling down. Clint, can you scroll down some? Okay, wait, stop right there. You went too far. Anyway, I noticed by heart anyway. So also, what happened is, so if the intel is being uplink, if the intel is being loaded, you have a certain amount of seconds to kill the uplink. If the terrorist team kill the uplink, then they win the round. One more thing is, if you have the bomb, if you have the and you get killed with the laptop in your hand, then it drops directly on that spot and it shows up on the map for like 20 to 30 seconds. Once 20 to 30 seconds pass, the bomb is respawned back in the middle of the map. We do that for people who think they're going to cheat and do little sneaky things. So if you go out of bounds, you do something like that, the bomb will just respawn in the middle of the map. So you can't get away with that. So pretty much that's what ended the Stream Keys bad quality again. Stream Keys it's
okay.
It's like it's like that, but at the same time, both teams are active at the same time, so there's no taking turns. You just have to strategize and play smart to survive, and that's what the Intel game mode is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, are we going to be talking about these modes one after another?
Yeah.
Are we going to just get all of them and then talk after?
We can do both. So let's go ahead. Do you have any questions, or what do you guys think about this game mode so far?
So, okay, does anyone else want to go, or should I just?
I would like to say something real quick. We should all get the Google Drive link to view all the game modes, so we can get a general idea of them, so we can develop our thoughts before, and so we can read our game mode perfectly without having to rely on the game mode being scrolled down.
Sure. If you guys do this, send your email in this Skype chat. Will you just share this with everybody that sends you their email? So everybody just send your email here in the Skype chat, and then Hit will share that with you. Okay.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Talk among yourselves.
All right. So one thing that with this game mode might be a bit, what I don't think might work very well with Bullet Force in particular is the fact that there's no respawns. With this in mind, you'll get these situations where you'll have 1v2s, 1v3s, 2v5s, or however many people are still alive. And the issue with that is not only are we on mobile, I mean, I understand that there are PC players, but this would apply for both platforms. There's no voice chat. And that's going to cause a lot of problems because there will be a huge lack of communication among the teams. And when you're in a clutch situation, it's very crucial to get information from your teammates who recently died about where an enemy might be, or where the laptop might be in this case. And so with this in mind, I think what's going to happen with this mode is there's going to be a lot of timing issues and a lot of just who sees who first. I think this is a situation where this game mode might be a bit too quote unquote competitive for what Bullet Force's core mechanics are. I like the idea. I think what it could be shifted into is just a general capture the flag game mode. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting from this mode. I think a couple of things, if we were to change it to like capture the flag, for example, the uplink time, I think just in general that should be removed because, first of all, 12 seconds is a very long time because the time to kill in this game is pretty high. I think that'll cause a lot of issues. There will be situations where nobody's going to be able to capture any laptop because the time to kill is so low. Also, the maps would have to be redesigned with this game mode in particular, especially a map like Urban. There are just very clean lines of sight, there's not a lot of chances for players to be isolated from one another, and because this game mode is almost trying to work in a slow-paced manner, but the maps and the flow of the maps are very fast-paced. So I think in general, I think if this were to be shifted to a more simple capture the flag mode, I think it could work. However, looking at all the rules and all of the different aspects of this game mode, I think like possibly something like forward assault might be suited for this type of mode a bit better than Bullet Force. So that's just my opinion on this particular game mode.
Right.
Okay.
You know, when you say that, is that's the whole thing. We kind of want to bring a competitive game mode to Bullet Force. The only difference between Forward Assault and Bullet Force is that it's first person, but it just has that bomb effect. So, I mean, what you said makes sense with the communication. We can add like keywords and stuff like that to compensate for the fact that we don't have a voice chat in the game. But if we don't have that in Forward Assault either, and people communicate, so I don't see there would be an issue with that. Because we don't have, we could just take the same thing we have in Forward Assault and use communication wise for Bullet Force, and it will work fine. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that. The one thing that I would have to reply to that is that if you create a competitive mode in Bullet Force, which I totally understand why you would want to do that. However, that would create competition among your two games, and so people would have to decide between Bullet Force and Forward Assault rather than jumping on Bullet Force for some quick fun action and then going to Forward Assault for some intense competitive modes. So and also just the core gameplay mechanics of Bullet Force, in my opinion, I don't think they support this type of mode very well. Forward Assault has that momentum where you don't have that Forward Assault doesn't have sprinting, and so you're more attuned to where you're looking, your crosshair placement, where you are, specifically where you're looking at, how are you walking around the map, and all these different things. And I think Bullet Force is just more attuned to, you turn a corner and you just kind of see what happens. You're not really thinking too much about where you are on the map and all that sort of stuff. Of course, there is thought to all of this stuff in Bullet Force. But in my opinion, I think it's a more obviously casual experience in the sense that you're not thinking about every step that you make. Whereas in Forward Assault, that's how the core mechanics are built. So I still think that even mechanics. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Core mechanics are pretty much shoot, run, jump, and thing. That's kind of basic. The thing is to introduce something that is different and give the game to have a variety of different things. If a person doesn't like to play the game mode, they don't play it. But you give the person an option to play a game mode that they like, and that's the difference. So I think any game could touch on anything, because if you look at other games, everybody wants to do Battle Royale. They want to add Battle Royale in the game. They want to add third-person mode. So it's like a smorgasbord of game modes that you want to introduce, and it pleases everybody. But anyway, in the end of that, thank you for your opinion on that. But let's jump to some other people and let's see what they have to say, what their opinion is. Anybody else?
I agree with Marv pretty much all the way, even though I never played Forward Assault because I'm not a mobile guy myself. But I think of Bullet Force as a really aggressive but high kill time game, and it's kind of similar to Black Ops 1, where you could rush, have a quick game, but the time to kill is kind of high, which is great because it doesn't feel like a Infinity Ward game where time to kill is almost instant, like Ghost in the latest Modern Warfare. That's all I'm gonna say. I pretty much agree with Marv on the game mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, interesting. Anybody else have any strong thoughts before we move to the next one?
For me, the issue I think that this game mode would have is the way the maps are being. You have to go to the center of the map, and then you have to go to the enemy's base. So one issue could be is if all the enemy team, they can just sit in their base, and then everybody else would have to grab the laptop, and then either they can grab it and return to their base and sit in their base and just let the game mode, the timer run out, or they'd have to push into there and just get mowed down by an entire camping team. What I suggest to make it a little more to be kind of VIP, where it's an interesting idea, but nobody plays it after a week, is having maybe you have the light in the middle so they can try to fight for it, but have two or three separate transmitting stations, if you'd like, around the map, where you can grab the laptop and go to any of those three, and then you plant the laptop to try to steal the enemy's info. I believe that's what the concept of the mode was for. And after you put the laptop down, let's say you put it down, you can't camp near the thing, because what will happen is there should be a thing where you will be shown either on the map, or maybe like how when you get killed, how the enemy who killed you will glow orange. You will glow if you're too close to the module, and you'll have to back up so you're not seen, because that way it reduces camping, and also it's not just one team pushing into another, and the other team doesn't have to move if they don't feel like it.
Okay. All right.
If I may comment on what you just said, I think that is a neat concept, a way to twist this. I think it's kind of similar to how, from what I remember, I think it was Uplink, how that mode worked in Advanced Warfare. I might be wrong, but I think there was just something in the center which teams fight over. They take that, you hold it until you reach some other point on the map to try and take whatever that was in the center of the map to that other point in the map, and of course enemies can stop you and all that sort of stuff. So that's also another idea.
Okay.
I guess my thought was to make a competitive game mode. Like, for prime example, you want the truth? I played this before. I used to be in tournaments 20, 30 years ago. But y'all wouldn't know me as that person. And this game mode, I know, is from a game I used to play a long time ago. And yes, you're absolutely right. A team can grab the bomb, take it back to their base. The team can grab the laptop, take it back to their base and camp. But that's why your team needs to play smart and to get out there and grab it before the other team does. It would make sense that if I'm up 1-0, then I'm going to take that laptop and go camp with it. And now you need to come and get me. So you got to make moves. And that's what the problem with a lot of competitive games nowadays, to me, from my personal opinion, they make it too easy. You take turns. That's not realistic on a battlefield. Like, I love Battlefields, but to say, like, okay, now it's your turn to go 5 rounds, and let's see how many times you can plant. That's not realistic to me, my personal opinion. What's realistic is when both teams are active on a game and a playing field, and everybody has the equal rights at the same time to make moves. So it's not just take a turn, then okay, yours is your goal. So that's why, in that mindset, if that happens, that's for you to blame. Your team needs to move out and get the laptop. If you know you're down, you need to get there and make sure you get there in time and get it before the other team takes it and runs away with it. I mean, I don't. So,
okay.
I mean, unless we want it to be super easy, then sure. I don't. That's just my opinion.
So if I may comment on that, and we might want to move on to the next thing if
yeah.
we're taking too too much time with
Let's
this.
do that. Let's go to the next one because we've got about 6 game modes we want to talk about. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, the next one is Hide and Seek by Straflight. You posted this one, and Hit and I looked at this. We thought it was interesting. So why don't you tell us what this one's about?
Alright, so my hide and seek game mode is really just focusing more on people who don't want to necessarily play competitively and just want to have maybe a fun time with friends, just enjoying the game, spending less time focusing on pure gunplay and their shot accuracy. So when a match begins, there will be a designated seeker that is randomly selected out of everybody that is in the match, and after that happens, all the remaining players have a given amount of time to take hiding positions within the map. During this time, they will also have a speed buff similar to the haste perk, maybe not with the jump, but this will just allow them to travel around the map faster. And after that, the seeker will be able to spawn in and start trying to locate all people in the map. And as opposed to the current mode, hardcore mode, where if you're waiting, you just have to look at your loadout screen, should be an optional way to spectate the map without viewing the players, just kind of get a feel for the map for potential hiding places and such. So once the seeker spawns in, they will be given a slower RPM weapon or pistol, such as the 44 Magnum, to just hunt players that are hiding in the map. And once again, the seeker will also now have a speed increase or buff, so the match speed can just progress further, and in order to not have the game stretch out too long, or just have players be unfindable, the speed buff for the seeker will be important to have. And after this, the seeker will just go about the map, shooting hiding players, and each elimination will count towards points that the seeker can gain. And at the same time, the hiding players, if they survive the given round, they will also be awarded points. So this match will consist of multiple rounds. Each player will have an equal opportunity to become a seeker, and it just goes based off of whichever hider is found and eliminated first will be designated as the next seeker to just find other players. And that's pretty much the basis of the game mode. There will be some restrictions, such as kill streaks will not be usable, and all perks will be disabled as well. Player skins and player usernames will also be disabled in order to avoid specific players being targeted. So that's pretty much it for basis of it.
So my question on this one is, I'm thinking of the real hide and seek we played as kids, and you'd have you'd count to 30 or whatever, and then everybody goes and hides. So is this the same way where you have the beginning of the game, I think you have in here that the first part of the mode is 1 minute where everybody goes and hides, and then there's a seeker that's selected, and then he goes out, whoever's the seeker goes out and tries to find everybody, and when he finds them, basically they're all hiding, and as soon as he kills them, then they're out, right?
Correct.
And so I guess when somebody is out, that means they're out of the game until the next match starts.
Yeah, that's the plan. And the reason why the seeker will have a speed buff is just so the match can progress quicker. Because I know that if you're in a game mode and you just get eliminated or found right off the bat, you may not lose interest just waiting for an excessive period of time. So the time that the Seeker is allotted to actually find the hiding players will be probably around 1 to 2 minutes, maybe even less, depending on map sizes and such.
Mm-hmm. I could see this being a good one for Aftermath because it's a big map. But I wonder about the smaller maps if it would be as long. Well, it'd be as fun because there's not as many hiding places. I mean, I guess you'd still have you'd still have some hiding places. They'd just be closer.
Yes, like each map would probably include their own strategy. It would probably wind up just try your best not to be found or eliminated, because you can, as a hider, you can actively move around the map. It's just that the Seeker will have a speed buff, so if they really want to locate you, they can get to you pretty quickly. But as long as you strategically move around the map, there is a possibility that you can avoid being spotted.
Right. Okay.
Which would work well for smaller maps, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Well.
Yeah. What else?
For this game mode, the size of the maps, we have enough size maps that this will actually work, like city and outpost and let's look at some other maps, park. So Aftermath. So we have enough maps that are decent size where this game mode will work. Nice game mode, by the way. Nice game mode.
Okay. How many players would you think would be?
For maximum amount of players, depending on how the time frames are set, for what my original plan was, it would only be a maximum of 6 to 8 players, just considering that everybody should get a chance to become a Seeker. And if there's too many players in the lobby, it'll just go on too long.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, especially on the smaller maps, like, let's say, Urban or anything like that, if you have more than, like you said, I think 6 to 8, then people will want to hide in the same place, and then some people will, like, not be able to find something. So I think that, and just quickly, because, but for maps like Aftermath and City, I think this is a pretty good game mode. Maybe we might have to think about some things here and there, but I think for maps like that, this would be great. However, I know that you said that, moving around the map would still allow you to, give some variety for the smaller maps. However, I think some maps like maybe Urban or something like that just won't work at all for this game mode. However, like I said, some maps like City and Aftermath, I think they would work great for this mode.
Yeah. I do have a lot of finer details that I've also written out, but just for the sake of moving things along, unless somebody requests that specifically, I'll probably just leave that out for now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, I would like to say that the stream, I think, got frozen again because you turned on the webcam again.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
It's frozen again.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This keeps happening.
Yeah.
It's probably a problem with the encoder, the stream encoder. What laptop are you using to stream?
Well, it's not a high. It's not a new laptop, so it's probably the laptop hardware is just pretty old.
Okay, you might want to mess around maybe after this is done with the stream encoder. If it's an Intel laptop, you can use QuickSync H.264, and that might work a bit better than if you're using the default setting.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, it does look like it's up.
Okay, good.
For me, you have the webcam off, so I think we're good now.
Okay.
All right. So I would like to say about the game mode. Hey, Striflight, is it going to be a party game mode? Is that what you said?
Not necessarily a party game mode. Like anybody can join you can join mid-match, although your chances may be decreased. But it's not just a set amount of players playing within the group.
Yeah, well, here's what would make this, I think, personally, a party game mode. So it would be similar to Search and Destroy, but let's say you join mid-match, right? Well, you only get to spectate until that round is up with, there's no timer on this, right? Is there a timer?
There will be a timer for the amount of time that the seeker will have to find players.
Yeah, so if you join mid-match while the seeker is seeking, you should only be able to spectate, so then you can just wait a few minutes before you join in and play as a hider or seeker. And I think for this game mode, it would be a party game mode if it's on middle to big size maps. Now I've seen people say that it would be horrible on City, which in my opinion City is not the best for TDM and all the other ones because everyone camps. But going on away from that, I think if we bring Zen into this, it'd be a great map for that. Because Zen has some good hiding spots and some secret spots that they're not glitch spots, they're just spots that are secret. Canyon would be great because there are some weird corners. Office is a great one too. There's some secret spots that I know. I mean, it just works on certain maps. It doesn't work on all maps.
If it does become a legitimate game mode, the players will probably be able to make maps of their choice, and maps that just won't work well with the game mode probably won't be chosen. So, yeah,
right.
Your suggestion for having to spectate until another round begins was my initial thought, but I'm just thinking the major reason as to why the modes such as hardcore mode didn't work out too well was due to the fact that people who just wanted to jump into a match immediately, who just wanted to play a game quick, they just entered the match and were stuck at their loadout screen, and that was pretty discouraging. And that's probably why
the flow was broken. The flow was broken.
Yeah, because you're just stuck waiting half the time if you join mid-match. So a workaround that I had for that is that if you join mid-match, you will be met with a spawn screen similar to that of Conquest, where there will be a given amount of points that you can select to be spawned at. And technically speaking, you could spawn right in front of the seeker, but giving a point option will or maybe even a system that spawns you furthest away from the location of the seeker, that would just help engage people quicker that just want to hop into the match immediately.
Okay.
With that, I think it should be also to where you can spawn in front of your teammates, possibly, but not let's say one teammate is really close to the seeker, you should be able to spawn to a teammate that is further away from the seeker. That would be better than just spawning it at a random point and making it possible that you could spawn in front of the seeker, even though it's supposed to be a protected spawn.
Alright, yeah, I do get the sense where you're saying where these hiders would be part of a team, but really the game mode is more like an FFA, because each player will have a turn at being a hider, but they will also at one point become a seeker. So it's really just a competition to see who can rack up the most points by surviving and finding the most players.
Okay, let's move on a little bit, guys. There's one.
All right.
Okay, let's see.
Hit. Are we going to get sent the game mode, by the way? I mean, the game mode list. Are we going to get sent that in email?
Yeah, Hit. Are you at your computer? You can share this with those guys?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was listening to the chat and also at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep in mind that none of these game modes is completely flushed out to the exact T. The summaries and things can be adjusted to make it work within the game. Because there's certain things that we know that we have to make it fit within the scope of the game. So just keep that in mind as we're discussing this. Nothing's finalized, but it's just a general situation where, how things can work.
Right. So there's one that I personally had a favorite, and let me see. Let me go through this document here. It is. Hit came up with this. He talked about it a couple days ago on Bloody Duck stream. Basically, it's Zombie World, FFA, and gun game combined. And Hit, can you just walk through this? There's a lot of steps here, but can you just walk through real quick how this would work? Because I think this is the one that has the most promise. It seems like it fits the game. It's what people have been asking for a long time, in a way, but it's a twist on zombie mode. So, can you?
Okay, I can do that. But in the meantime, can you send them the link?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just in view mode, okay?
Yep.
So, with that being said, this game mode was more about fun. Not competitive to me anyway. It's all about having fun. There's some people who asked about zombies so much. That was the key. So basically, long story short, we're living in a strange world where the dead.
Just wanted to jump in real quick. There doesn't need to be any audio. Now there's echo. There's not any audio on the stream, by the way.
Oh, really?
Black screen also, and white for some people apparently, and now it's buffering.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I did turn off the screen sharing for a second while I share it with you guys, but I'll turn it back on in just a second. But you're not able to even hear me on the stream at all?
No, it's buffering right now. It's not working.
Oh, huh. Okay. Hold on tight. Let me get this, and then I'll go back and fix that. Okay, go ahead, Hit, while I'm doing this, and just walk us through.
Can they hear me on the stream right now?
Nope.
Oh, they can't. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Let me hurry and do this real fast. Can you just let them know that we're going to just take a second?
Chat.
Dude, they just need to let it go already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I got the document shared. Thank you.
Okay, good. You bet. Okay.
Let me see if my email got it.
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, good.
Alright, I'll add the detailed
I got it.
Okay.
into the chat.
So now you should be able to see my screen, and let's go down to, where was it? Yeah.
Okay.
Zombie
We're not
World.
live yet, are we?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, good. Why is it not showing for me?
Yeah, we're live per se, but the stream does not work.
Okay, hopefully it's back now.
Okay. I'm thinking we're live.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
We're live!
We are back.
Yeah, live and audio.
Yes, Jeff, it would be nice to add a map with snow on it. I know. Alright, so listen up, people. So basically, the long story short, the goal is to stay alive. It's with zombies. there's a virus that's going around that brings the dead back alive. But here's the catch: zombies just eat the living to do so. So watch your back, because in this game mode, there's no friends. Period. The goal is to stay alive and to get enough kills versus the living to reach the goal of 50. That point can change. The end game, or when the timer runs out, to have the most points to win. Whoever has the most points to win. When you start out, everyone can pick their weapon of the choice from their own inventory. If you kill someone as a human, you get 2 points. If you die, you become a zombie every time. And your goal is to kill the living. And when you do, you take away 1 point from the person that you have killed, but you yourself will gain no points. When you're a zombie, if you get 2 kills in a row, you will respawn as a human again, so you'll be able to start gaining points again. Once you respawn as a human, the second time around, you'll be randomly given a weapon. Given a weapon. So picking up a dead person's weapon, if they die, will not work. The deaths will alternate in between you selecting your own weapon from your loadout to a weapon that is randomly given to you, and which breaks down the explanation of that right there. So basically, and what's not written here is a zombie. Everybody looks the same. You can't tell if it's your friend or not. It doesn't even matter. Everybody looks the same. The HUD looks the same. You scratch and claw the person to death, and if you get 2 kills, you come back alive, and that's when you start to gain points again. So this is a very simple game mode that rotates in between a free-for-all and gun game, and it's just a race to who can stay alive the longest and get the most kills. And that's it.
Okay, let's talk about this one.
So, does anybody want to go, or should I go?
Go ahead.
I have something to add.
Yeah.
So my one question about this thing is, what happens if somebody just happens to be really good in every other person? So there's only
you know what?
An uninfected person, and everybody else is a zombie.
Strawflight, you're cutting out a lot. At least for me. Is that anybody else cutting out for him?
He was cutting out.
That's me.
Okay.
Sorry, my connection's really bad right now.
Okay. Well, go. Can you get your connection better?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
unfortunately your connection's not too good, but put it in the chat and we'll look at it. Your ideas. Yeah, it's just really hard to hear you. Okay, who else had a comment about this game mode?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think that it almost seems as though it's a bit too convoluted as to how the mode itself works. I think what's nice about game modes such as, and I know you said this would be kind of a mishmash of free-for-all and gun game. However, I think because you have the 2 different sides, the zombies and the humans, it almost seems as though it would kind of have the flow similar to Team Deathmatch, where there's almost these lines of these sort of front lines of battle where the 2 teams kind of merge, like Team Deathmatch, and so not only will that aspect sort of maybe not work in some areas, but also I think the whole mess of like the point system and the random guns and all that sort of stuff, I almost think that it's a bit too convoluted to where some players might look at it and not understand what's happening and just go back to Team Deathmatch because it's super simple. So, in my opinion, I think it should almost be changed to just a general infected mode from Call of Duty or Halo, I think has infected, where basically everyone spawns with whatever loadout they want. and after like a 15-second countdown, one person gets randomly selected to be infected, and their goal is to infect the other players. And once the other players are infected, and so forth, it continues until only one person is alive, and that person wins the game. Kind of like in a free for all where there's one person who wins. So the infected only have melee, and once they die, they just respawn at like the back of the map, and they just their whole goal is to infect other players. And like I said, once it gets down to one person, that person wins. And I think that's just a simple way to add zombies, and I think just a very easy way to get that sort of game mode or zombies concept into the game. And I think it's just also very fun because you can get these sort of high, pressure situations where two people are like on top of a crate or something like that, and they're just mowing down hordes of zombies, and it's just who's going to die first. And so yeah, I think it might be a bit simpler and just a lot more easy to implement than your specific game mode.
I see. So, and in that case, the zombies would be able to shoot. I mean, would be able to run faster and jump higher than regular players, right? So because then that's their advantage. Because they don't have a gun, all they can do is melee, so they would have to be able to run and jump faster.
Yeah, I think that would depend based off of play testing. I think that it would have to be tested first because I don't think it can be said for certain whether or not giving them specific abilities might be too overpowered. I think definitely having just an increased movement, like haste, might be good. But in terms of the jumping, I'm not sure because that might allow them to get into different areas that you might not want them to and just easily get all the players infected. So I think definitely increased running speed might be good, but not sure about the jumping. But it definitely could be tweaked and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, I think this will come down to play testing. I think might be the most important thing.
Right. Okay. Good to hear your input. Let's go to somebody on the chat and see what kind of questions you guys have. Because I wanted to do this panel, but I didn't want it to be where you guys in the chat feel like you're being ignored. So let's look at the chat and see if anybody is in the chat has some questions or comments.
Yeah, I'm looking at chat here. Someone says they like search and destroy, so that's kind of almost the mode we were talking about at the beginning, but that's almost going into capture the flag territory. But search and destroy, I think, I don't know, it's definitely interesting, but I think forward assault might just be, I think that would take away from forward assault. There's some people who say they have a question but have not put the question. Someone's a bit confused, but I'm not sure in what way. Someone's stats have been reset, so I think that would be a support question.
Yeah. Okay, let's see, Denova. I like the simple zombie idea. What's the simple zombie idea you're talking about? Are you talking about infected?
The one that I mentioned, I think, yeah. The simple one. So just the infected, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. The only thing that contradicts the idea is that Hit previously stated that he really wants some unique game modes and not just quote unquote rip off of other games.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable.
Yeah, he's looking for a twist, but I can see where the simplicity of your idea is really appealing as well.
Right. That's true. We do want to make it. I mean, the main thing we're after is getting players, and let's hit pause for just a second. So you guys know this coming release is going to have a lot of things that we've been working on that's going to help new players get into the game. And a problem we've had from the very beginning is brand new players don't stay with the game very long. And that's just because we've never had a matchmaking system, and we've never had a tutorial, and we've never had a good first-time user experience. So this next release is going to have no more guests. No longer, we're going to get rid of guest accounts totally. So when you play the game, when you start, you have to submit a username. You don't have to put a password in or your email. It just asks you for the username, and no longer will you be able to play as guests. So now we won't have guest lobbies and regular account lobbies. They'll all be playing together. So that's going to fill up the lobbies more. Also, there's a new tutorial we have for new players. When they go in, there'll be a new tutorial as they go in. If they're a new player, they have to go through a tutorial. They can skip it, but there'll be a tutorial. It shows them all the buttons and everything on the HUD, and then they have to kill 20 bots at the end. Once they kill 20 bots, then they get 20 free credits. Then they go on to their first beginner match, which is only for beginners, and then they can play with everybody else. Actually, after they reach a certain point, I think it's level, they're ranked 15 or something like that. So I know a lot of people are saying that they don't see as many people in the lobbies, but this is going to help a lot. We get a lot of downloads every month. We get a lot of downloads, and so this update, I believe, is going to help fill up the lobbies more. So our goal with the rank mode, not rank mode, with new game modes, is just to have a reason for people to come to Bullet Force instead of some other game. So the goal really is to just bring back fun, to have fun game modes, and if they're unique, then that's great. And we want to make it so they want to come back to Bullet Force versus a different game. So that's what we want for the game modes.
Well, let me also add on to that.
Yeah.
Add the 10 on top of 20. Basically, everybody has their opinion, and that's cool. But the only thing that makes these things factual is by the amount of people who vote on them. So just to let everybody know in this chat as well as on the stream that we're gonna take all these game modes and we're gonna put them out there, and we're gonna have like a Google Doc, and we're gonna have a vote, and we're gonna put it in the game, and we're gonna share it everywhere, and everybody will be able to get their voices heard. Because once again, it's not about what we think is good; it's what the community would like. And just like how, and I'm sure Mr. Blayze could attest to this, aka Clint, the boss with the sauce, that he pretty much knows that we thought that people wanted one thing, but when they voted, 3,000 for that people say we want this, which is amazing. So we want the people that are in our game to have a voice and opinion, and we know it's impossible to hit everybody at once, but by doing these surveys and allow them to answer questions, we pretty much go through, me and Clint sit down and go through the long laundry list of hearing what people have to say, as well as filling out the surveys. So keep in mind that when we do these surveys, please take the surveys, because that's how you affect the most change in the game. And then it's no longer left up to opinion, it's left up to facts, depending on how many people want it.
Yeah.
So can I comment just real quick on something?
Sure.
So what I've been noticing lately in terms of mobile FPS is that we kind of have this weird divide between what we would consider traditional first-person shooters, aka Bullet Force, Call of Duty Mobile, things that have 8v8s, 5v5s, 10v10s, all this different stuff. And then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, we have just battle royales, 100 players, free-for-all, squads, whatever. But there's this sort of big thing. And I know that you guys are working on Project Gamma as a kind of, from what I can tell, almost like a Battlefield type thing. And I think that's awesome. I really am looking forward to seeing that. I have the test flight, and I would love to get like a full lobby, and just I love to see the progress that it's making. However, I do want to say that what I think would be an interesting thing, I don't know if it's in the doc because I'm not quite comfortable sharing my email to get it, but what I will say is the game mode that I pitched, is that in the document? The game mode that I shared on Twitter?
Which game mode was it?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, so we'll get to it. Never mind then.
Yeah, you're talking about Rush?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So
I
let's.
just think that it's. I think modes that are more fun and more to maybe have like a bit more scale might be a better idea rather than small 5v5 type things. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Okay, well let's it's already we've been on for a little over an hour, so let's go. Actually, Marv, let's go to you and talk about Rush.
Cool. Do you want me to kind of explain it and whatnot?
Yeah.
Right, so Rush is an objective game mode where two teams, and of course it will maybe depend on the map or whatever, but hopefully if we're on a map like City or Aftermath, we can get maybe the maximum player count into two teams, either attack or defense, and there will be these stations, and there's going to be, depending on the map size of course, one or two maybe stations that need to be defended or attacked, maybe at various sections of the maps or very specific pinpoints of the maps. So anyway, how the game mode works is that defenders must defend the MCOM stations until the other team runs out of respawn tickets. This means that the defenders must kill the attackers and force them to respawn. Again, this can be decided, but maybe around 75 times to win the game. The attackers can revive. Well, actually, no. Sorry, I'm reading off of a different thing, but obviously, maybe we might add a revive thing might be a good idea for this mode. But anyway, so attackers start out in one position, and they obviously move towards the defenders who get to the stations to arm them. They need to arm them with just an explosive that has a timer that will go off, and once that goes off, they will win. So essentially, it's almost like that diffuse game mode where you almost imagine it in a 5v5 setting. However, this would be two entire teams working, and it just creates a bigger sense of scale. So let me just put it more simply, because I know I kind of fumbled my words here. You have attackers and defenders. There's two bomb sites. Attackers have limited amount of respawns, and they have to arm and blow up an objective or two objectives. The defenders have to defend. They have to eliminate the attackers based off of the amount of tickets that the attackers have. If the defenders successfully defend, maybe based off a time limit, or the attackers run out of tickets, the defenders win. With the attackers, their objective is to blow up the stations. If the stations are blown up, then they win.
Okay.
But like I said, what differentiates this from a normal defuse game mode, maybe you would see in Forward Assault or anything like that, is that we have entire maybe even 16v16 teams, and they're fighting off these large-scale maps like Aftermath and City. And in my video on it, I think I mentioned how the sort of courtyard area above the parking garage in the bottom right-hand corner of the map on City would be a good area. And basically, it's just two teams fighting over one or two big objectives, and I think that will not only create a sense of teamwork without needing intimate communication, but I also think that when you're in a situation where your attackers have no tickets left, but the bomb is ticking, if anyone dies, then the defenders need to make sure that they defuse the bomb, or else the attackers might even win, even if they don't have any. So I think that this not only creates a sense of competitive and sort of tension in this game mode, but it also is going to be very easy for players to jump in and just start, because it would be a simply attackers and defenders go and arm this objective or kill the attacker. So I think it has a nice balance of competitiveness and just jump in and have fun type of gameplay, while creating all this sort of different situations where you can have these like last minute defuses, or you can have these like really amazing last pushes by a team. And I think we've never seen that on a mobile game before in terms of FPS. So I think that Rush would work very, very well with a couple maps in Bullet Force.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks for your ideas. Okay. Anybody want to comment about Rush game mode, and we'll take a couple more minutes to talk about Rush, and then guys, by the way, on the chat, I will give you the code in just a minute. No, I didn't lie to you about the fake code.
They've been talking about the codes for like 30 minutes now, it feels like.
I know. I don't blame you. You want the code, but I'm going to show you the skins here in just a second that you're going to get. for being on the stream. So I want to finish. Let's finish talking about the rush, and then I want to show you the skins, and then I'm going to give you the code. So, what comments do you have about the rush game mode? Anybody have any strong opinions?
Any questions or anything like that?
Say again.
I just, if you guys have any questions and want me to explain anything a bit further, please, I would love to explain this further.
Okay, great.
If anyone has any questions or anything.
Okay. Now, Denova, I've seen you put 2 useful comments in here, and I appreciate it. It looks like a lot of everybody's just saying, give me the code, and, we really need your helpful input. So all you guys that are giving helpful input, I really appreciate that. It helps me, it helps the team. So, okay, who has anything to add about the rush game mode or questions?
I personally
I don't have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't have anything particularly anything to say. I'm just gonna say I like the idea of the game mode.
Okay, you like the idea generally.
Yeah, just in general, I think it's cool.
Okay.
And if I could just say something quickly, I think this game mode, like I said, would work especially well with City and a couple different maps because I think it fits everyone's style of play. You could have the people up close on the objective with the assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, but you can also have people on the sidelines sniping and taking out people on the objective who are maybe trying to defuse and all that. So I think everyone's play style would work in this mode.
Wait, can you explain that to me again? Because I'm trying to see what's the difference between this game mode and the Intel game mode.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, trying to see it.
So with Intel, you have to take something from one part of the map and bring it to another part of the map from what I remember about Intel. In this game mode, the objectives are stationary. So you must have your players guarding or attacking that specific objective throughout the entire course of the mode. So it also creates, it's also different from Intel in the fact that there are respawns. Like I said, the attackers will have a certain amount of respawns until they lose the game, and defenders have unlimited respawns from their base. And so they all converge in this one area of the map where the objective is, or the 2 objectives. And so it's different from Intel in the sense that it's less intimate. You still have these large scale engagements, so without that sort of frustration of timing or anything like that, because you could just respawn and go back in.
Right. So basically, it's not my personal opinion, it's not a competitive game mode. It's a good game mode, but on the competitive scene, to the respawning, like, that's just my personal opinion. Respawning is one of those things that if you die, hey, you just come back and rush again, and you keep on pushing. I get it, but when you know that you have one life to live, you kind of move and you think totally differently than knowing that you can keep on respawning or whatever. That's just my personal opinion, but it is a good game mode, though. It is a good game mode.
I kind of agree with you on that sense. However, I would say it absolutely matters in this game mode with strategy and how you think, because if your team isn't doing something specific, if they're not pushing in a certain area, or if they're not taking out the sniper up in the hills that they should be, your team's going to lose. So every life does matter, especially in the fact that the attackers have limited respawn. So it's not just you respawn and go. If you're an attacker, you have those maybe 75 or 50 respawns, and every one of those counts. So I do, and also, if you're the last one alive on the attacker side and your team doesn't have any respawns left, you might have to defend that MCOM, or whatever they call the objective. You might have to defend that with only one life. So I think it creates and again, I'm not going to say this is competitive like Counter-Strike or something like that. Of course it won't be. However, it creates tension just like competitive would. It creates a sense of teamwork like competitive would, but not in the same 5v5, very intimate setting. And so there are moments that you would have to think very strategically and very intensely.
I guess I'm looking at this and I say this sounds like Intel to me, except you have 2 points in which you have to go to when you grab, and you could respawn, and you have respawn.
I apologize. I did not mention. You do not need anything specific to arm the objective. Basically, all attackers can arm the objective, and all defenders can defuse the objective. So once an attacker goes, they basically just sit next to the objective for however, maybe 4 or 5 seconds to arm it. Defenders come along and they can defuse it. But it basically works like this, where attackers, once they attack and arm an objective, that has like maybe 40 seconds or so until it explodes. The defenders during that time can of course come along and defuse that objective, but they can arm and defuse objectives an unlimited amount of times. What really decides how the game mode ends is either the objectives blow up, the attackers run out of tickets, or the time ends and the defenders win.
Okay. So let's go to the chat and let's just read some of the people. Control and standard, I like that. One person said, Rush is the most simplistic version of bomb defuse of any sort. Somebody, I play VIP in this game, that doesn't... We need people
that they like Rush.
Yeah. But like I said, in anything, everybody has their opinion, because there's some people who like other game modes that was mentioned as well just now. So, I mean, it's good that everybody's talking about it, but like I said, at the end of the day, we're going to put it on a dock and we'll just let people vote. But this game mode sounds like a lot of fun, because you're constantly is no pause in action, and you're constantly you just going. Where my mindset in the beginning is to, I mean, I wish we could add all the game modes, to be honest, because at the end of the day, there's people who they want to play strategic like Forward Assault, or like other games where you have to, slow it down and move methodically. And then there's other people who don't want to be full on like that, because they don't have no time for that. They just want to pick up the game, play, and have a lot of fun. So all these different game modes actually wield these type of things, and I just wish we could add them all.
Yeah.
Well, no, to be honest. Yeah, that's why I really like Rush, is because you can have all of that. Yeah. Like, if you want to have that one person who's super tactical and takes every step.
I'm going to always disagree with you on that one. I can't see it being tactical if you can respawn again, and you have an unlimited amount of respawns, even 50. So if I die once, die twice, if nobody else on my team die, I can respawn another 20 times. So I don't look at it like that. Like, from the competitive scene and playing in tournaments, you're pretty much one and done in a competitive game, and then you have to wait for your team to make a move. Hence, that's why somebody said it's a more, their opinion was a more simplistic bomb defuse, because you don't have to wait.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's simple for a reason that, it's easy for players to get into. It would be a mode where it's simple to get into but hard to master, in the sense that if you're on a specific map, like let's say City, you have to take into account all the verticality. You have to think about how the maps work, and you have to adjust to that. Specifically, you have to know where sniper positions are. You have to know where people might be with a shotgun. You might know all these different things. And so I think it's tactical enough to where if you want to, quote unquote, try hard and you want to be that tactical person, push certain ways and flank, you can do that. Or if you're that type of person who just, goes on their phone on a break at work and just wants to jump into a TDM, you can also do that, because once you spawn in, you know your attack or your defense, and you just go. So I think that this sort of balances the two, casual and competitive, in a good way, instead of just going one way or the other completely.
Yeah. Okay, let me jump in there.
Yeah, I think it's a cool game mode nonetheless.
Yeah. So you know, and I know everybody's going to have their own opinion about what should be the best. We are at we've been on here about an hour and a half. I want to give everybody the code, which is orangutan.
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 What? Where did you come up with that one? I would have never guessed that.
And
that's
you,
like a super. Yeah, that's fun.
and you have to spell it correctly.
How about you place it in the chat so people can copy and paste?
That is funny. Orangutan. Good luck, people.
What?
Okay, use the dictionary.
I do have a quick question for the rush game mode, Marv.
Yeah.
So, what you said is that the respawns will be shared for each team.
No, so attackers would have a certain amount of respawns, but the defenders would have just unlimited amount. Potentially, I think it might work if they both have a specific amount of respawns, but from the game mode that I play in Battlefield, that rush version, only the attackers have a specific amount of respawns, just to create that tension, just to create that sense of urgency, to not just mess around.
So, but the attackers will have a shared respawn number as a group. All right, yeah, I like that because as you said, it'll just urge people who might just be camping or just sitting in one position, not really contributing anything, to just kind of get out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I think it. Obviously, it's not a perfect game mode. I don't think there will ever be a perfect mode for anything. I think it balances competitive, casual, sniping, close quarters. I think it just covers everyone's bases fairly well. So no, there's definitely not going to be any $1 million tournaments running this game mode. So I get how it's not the most competitive game mode, but I think that it can provide that sense of competitiveness to the players who want that, but it can also cover the casual players where they just want to get jump in and have a good time and just see their team win.
All right. Thanks for the clarification there.
Cool. Okay. Lots of good comments. We're gonna I know everybody has their own opinion, so we're gonna put a poll. Okay, so let's do the fun part here. The next phase is we're gonna look at the skins. These are the skins that you guys are gonna get. It's called Blayze 1, and it's just a skin with fire on it. Can you all see those in the chat? In the stream?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep, we can see them.
Okay, good. And these are the only way you can get these is through the stream. So we're going to start making exclusive skins that are only going to be given away in the live streams. So the next
skin will transfer to all weapons, right?
Yep, they'll work for all weapons.
And for clarification, how would they go about claiming these skins?
They will.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to handle that, or you want me to jump in and say that?
Go ahead, hit.
Okay, so basically we came up with the idea of it's basically, let's backtrack. For the content creator, we want to give them a way of giving. We want to give us a way to give back to the content creator and let them know that we value their opinion of streaming the game and to also help promote their channel as well. So for the content creators that are labeled as streamers and where people can cast and actually have a set schedule and play our game at a certain time, we'll have a calendar also for the people that want to do that, so nobody steps on anybody else's toes. Those people can. I see you, Crypt. Tonight. You're laughing, but you're actually down with this. So I got to talk to you about this. So bottom line is, as long as you can stream, talk, and play the game, and your content is good, and we'll determine that, we'll take your logo and add it in the game, and we're not charging anybody for it. And we'll add your skin in the game. Like Bloody Duck was the first with his animated skin. I took the mobile esports skin. His listing is there as well. And the only way an individual can get that skin is to either follow the Bullet Force channel as a giveaway or giveaway on your personal channel. And before we give away the skin on our channel, we will talk to you first and make sure you gave it away on yours, so we won't be doubling up the effort. So basically, if a person likes you as a YouTuber, they will come to your channel, follow your channel, and that's the only way they can get that skin, to show love and support to you. And that's it.
Yeah. Right. So
So
yep, that's our way to help the content creators. And so these skins right here will be available in the very next update. They got added today in the code, so it'll be the very next update, which will be. We are in major test mode right now, so we are pushing really hard to have.
I'm sorry, Clint.
Mhm.
You said this skin is going to be available for the next update?
Yeah, we added it today.
No, I know that, but it's not available for sale.
No, it's
only. Okay. Let's be clear, right? Because I don't want to confuse anybody.
Right.
It'll be available next update. Once it's added, whoever's on the stream that gives it away to, you will get it added to your account. But once again, the only way to get this skin is when we do a giveaway on the Bullet Force channel. You can't buy it. You can't win it in game. Only way is through this channel.
Yep.
Like it, subscribe to the channel. That's it. And the same thing will go for other YouTubers as well. So Mark, if you start streaming again, man, send me your logo. We'll add your skin to the game.
Oh, I plan on possibly doing videos, of course. But would videos count for that, or just streaming?
It's just streaming.
Okay.
It's just streaming.
Okay.
For now, but we could talk. Don't worry, we'll talk. We'll see what happens.
I have a question about the skin. Will it be redeemable for PC players?
Yes. Whatever skins that's in mobile will make their way to PC as well. Yes, all your PC people out there, shout out to Doom. Doom is every day just poking me like a big getting stuck in the stick.
Doom. But, Doom's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I was actually getting more into streaming recently, and I'm hoping to maybe get one of my skins too.
Well, this is the thing, like other games that don't show love to people who might have a smaller YouTube channel and stuff like that, we're not like that. As long as you have good content and you're good, I don't care if you have 400 subs, 500 subs compared to somebody who has 10,000. I'll take somebody who has a genuine good flow and soul to them and genuinely loves the game and will show love to you. And we'll throw you on the calendar and we'll add you to the game. That's what's most important. Not manufactured gameplay. People who really care about the game.
Yeah, I've been starting to stream more recently. It's been really fun for me, and I plan to have my own tonight just for fun. I really like sniping on stream, and
see, this kryptonite, quality over quantity. There you go. It's just you just want people that love playing the game, and like I said, just to be able to know that you can. And Elliot, by the way, in the game, it clearly labels that it's a content creator streamer skin. So everybody will know the only way to get it is to go to your channel. So it's like I said, it's a little give back from Blayze Games to all the streamers. Because like I said, I don't. To be honest, I'm going to toot my own horn here. Yes, I am. You don't see no other game doing that. Period.
And another question: when PC players are filling out the Google form, do we have to have PC and the line before our in-game name?
Yes, sir. That will definitely help because we could identify who's who. Unless you're Doom, because Doom just is going to write Doom 18. But I'm just.
Yeah. Every PC player, this is your fellow PC player talking. When you're filling out the form, make sure you have PC and then a line before your name so they can identify that you're on PC. All right?
Yep. That's right.
High status. I see you, high status. Listen, high status. Quietly, I've been watching your streams. I'm always watching. If anybody didn't tell you that. So keep up the good work, high status.
Yep. We're looking for also streamers in different languages. So we need to spread the spread the Bullet Force word around the world, and we want to find some Brazilian, Spanish, Japanese, Russian, and so that's we're looking for that. So okay, well we've been on here a while. I saw a couple of questions come out. What about the maps in PC? How come they're disabled? So we've thought of something. So we have to keep the build small on PC. What we've thought about doing is maybe alternating the maps because it's really not possible to put all the maps on PC at once. What we've thought about doing is having like 3 main maps that are always there and then having a 4th map that rotates every month. It just changes. So because having all the maps there all the time is not really possible with the the how big the build is. So that's one thing we're thinking about doing. Uh, so can it be by the week? You're saying could we change it by week? We're probably not going to do a build that often. For sure, the build will be once a month because every time we do a mobile build, we're going to do a PC build at the same time. And the first couple of months, we've had to scramble to get all that working, but now we've got the process mostly worked out. And so when we do a mobile build, we'll just do a PC build right after that. So, well, I think we're about done. Guys, I want to thank y'all.
You forgot to go over my game mode.
Oh,
There's two more game modes, Clint.
Is there 2 more? I know we didn't go over all of them.
Yes.
There's more.
There's more.
I mean, mine's not even in the Google Doc.
Yeah.
What?
You know what? We didn't have. I think you might have had yours in Twitter, and I'm sorry I didn't get all of them from Twitter and put in here.
Yeah. Well, I wrote some of mine down, and most of them are just like game modes from Call of Duty that I wanted to put in. Is it okay if I talk about mine?
Yeah, let's do this. Why don't you talk about yours? I hope whoever can stay on a few more minutes can stay on because, yeah, we do want to hear the other ideas. So go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So, and I saw some people saying that they could not hear me, so Tivial speak. So, I turned on my mic just a little bit, not too much. So, if you can hear me now, great. If not, I'm sorry. Turn your YouTube up. All right. So PC gang, by the way, yeah. First few game modes I wanted to see happen. Now I have an aggressive play style, right? I'm primarily a sniper. I just like to hit clips, as if you have seen on my channel. A lot of game modes that I see suggested. I can't speak. They're mostly more tactical. They're mostly tactical. One of the game modes, which is somewhat the core basis of these game modes that these people were talking about, was Demolition. A lot of you that have played Call of Duty know what Demolition is. It's a very crazy game mode. A lot of people don't play Objective. You just don't play Objective sometimes. And it's pretty simple. It's like search and destroy, but there's 2 bombs you gotta destroy, and there's unlimited lives. Pretty simple there. Second game mode is search and rescue. Those of you that played Call of Duty Ghosts, I think will know. And I think it's also in the latest Modern Warfare. It's like search and destroy, but when your teammate dies, they have dog tags that fall down, and when their tag, they respawn. All right. A lot of people are. Doom says only 1 game mode. All right. I'm just gonna say Demolition and Search and Rescue as the 2 game modes I suggest. What are your guys' thoughts?
You do know that Demolition is exactly what Intel is without the bomb.
Right.
You know that, right? That's why I'm laughing when you said that. So yeah, it's the same exact thing without without the bomb instead of the laptop.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But I know, yeah. Search and Rescue, though, I think could be a good competitive game mode. because Search and Destroy is already a decent competitive game mode. I'm not the competitive scene, so if I get things wrong about the competitive scene, I'm sorry. Feel free to yell at me when I stream tonight.
No, not at all. No, that's. Listen, it's not only about the competitive scene, and this is where Mark was saying there's a different type of player that most Bullet Force is known for fast-paced, fun, action, blah blah blah. But like I said, there's other people that play the game that might want to try some the competitive side of things. And if we create a game mode like that, it'll bring it. But we also need to continue to please the people who currently play the game that like quick, fast-paced game mode. So we need to even keel this when we go about doing it. So all these game modes are great. We just need to find out, and Clint, aka the boss with the sauce, needs to find. I know I love saying boss with the sauce, but that's just a nickname I have for Clint. But anyway, Clint needs to know what we're going to do next. What's next? And so all these game modes, for all you know, we might end up putting in some of these game modes, a couple of them. But the thing is, which one comes first? We can't do all at once, and that's really what this is. That's the most important thing. Clint needs to know which one should we do first, pretty much, when it comes down to it. Clint, correct me if I'm wrong. Stop me.
Yep. That's right.
By the way, that's a good nickname for him.
Yeah, that's my that's my nickname, the boss with the sauce.
Yeah,
and I just want to say, hold on, before you go any further, I want to say shout out to mobile. PC sucks. No disrespect to anybody in that chat, but mobile rules. Day one mobile rules, baby. Woo-hoo.
They both are good. Yeah, you're right. They both are good. I actually been playing mobile more recently on my controller when I'm just chilling in school. But the reason why I want these two game modes, specifically Demolition and more game modes that you can get a lot of kills on, is because I'm tired of TDM, the score being 150, and it's hard for pub stomping to get really high kill gameplays. Now I know 150 is a huge score, but let's say you add kill confirmed, where you don't have to pick up the tag. Every kill is not helping with the score in kill confirmed. It's just you gain a kill, compared to if you get a kill, you pick up the guy's dog tag, and that's a point in kill confirmed. That's just all I wanted to say about my game modes. PC gang represent. Dooms and Salamander, everyone, you're the beast.
I wanted to do this. I'm gonna bring this up real quick. I want to go into the last game mode, discuss it. Before that, I had an idea that's been burning in me.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark, when's the last time you played that you you have a clan that you're in, right? Organization. You're not, when's the last time you did some org stuff?
I have, from what I can recall, never done anything with an org before.
Okay, good. This is perfect. What I want to do is get together the YouTubers and have an official Bullet Force YouTube tournament only.
That would be great.
So every YouTuber, we will set up the teams. Everybody will join. We'll put you on a random crack shoot, so it's fair. We will set up the teams, and then we will stream this tournament. So whoever normally, and you can still, meanwhile we're streaming the tournament, you can still go ahead and stream from your own channel if you want to. But the goal is different game modes, tournament, YouTubers on, and you would probably have to have a certain amount of followings to join this tournament. But we want to make it fun, and I want to do something I've never seen before. That's it. And I want to make it, I just want to have that fun. I think that would be something fun.
Would it be team-based?
Yeah, it would be team.
Okay.
Not all of it. But, it'd be like, let's say it would be like a 10-day event or something like something like that. Like, it would just be fun. So people will be able to go one-on-one, like snipers only event. I know a lot of YouTubers will love that, to see YouTubers go up against one another quick sniping. But at the same time, we will also have it that we have team deathmatch and different game modes. So I think that would be a lot of fun. You said Bloody Duck will win? It depends. It depends what team he's on. Bloody Duck is good though, but it depends. Oh, Mark, you used to snipe, didn't you?
I
used to snipe, right?
I used to snipe back in the old days, but recently I've been attuned to the SCAR.
You gotta dust off the dust, man, because I'm telling you, we're gonna make this happen. I want to make this happen. But anyway, I think that would be extremely fun. Everybody streaming at once and playing and just having fun. And being competitive at the same time.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's go on to the last Clint.
Yeah.
That up. Man, I really like that gun. Oh my god, the skin is fire.
Yep.
Literally
fire.
Everybody type fire in the chat if they like the skin. That skin is fire. Gotta give a shout out to Emilio to add in that. Shout out to Emilio, man. One of the devs. He put that skin in there. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Alright, so let's get into the last game mode. And the last game mode is Escort.
Okay, Escort, let's see.
Escort. Now everybody knows. Now let me set the picture. Pretty much Escort would be on a map like Aftermath, big maps. That's okay if you don't have it there, Clint. It's at the bottom. It should be at the bottom. It should be at the bottom. If it didn't make it, I could just explain it. It's not a big deal.
There it is, right there.
Right. So basically, there is a high-ranking official that has defected and is willing to give valuable information to the counter-terrorist team. But before we can do that, we need to extract this person from the area. As they already know, the terrorists know about this, and their plans are simple: kill everybody and make sure that they don't get out of there alive. The counter-terrorist goal is to take the official and escort him to one of the two sites to extract him. Once they get to the site, they will pop smoke. A helicopter will come. You have 20 seconds to wait before you can get on a helicopter and take off.
By the way, just quickly mention the text is not center aligned with the stream, so the right side is cut off still.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, that's why I said I'll just explain it. So basically, with this game mode, if a terrorist kills the entire counter-terrorist team, they still don't win. They have to find the high officer official and kill him as well, and then the round ends. They win. So basically, another thing about this game mode is when you first start, somebody on your team will become that high-ranking official. It rotates in between the people. So basically, when you spawn, by the way, there's no health regen in this, so this is strictly competitive, just to say. So there's no health regen in this. Ducky, that we need to get his team hit versus that's funny. There's no health regen in this. So basically, for the person that's the official officer, he has no weapon to defend himself. All he can do is a heightened sense of running. He's faster than everybody else, and he needs to follow his team. Right? So basically, he follows his team, and they get him to the extraction point. So the team needs to lead the way. If by any chance he's able to survive, like if his whole team gets killed and he's able to survive and hide by himself, and the time runs out, then it's a tie. Of course, if the terrorist team kills off everybody, then it's a win. Or if the counter-terrorist team kills off the terrorist team, it's a win. It's the best of 11 rounds, and one of the things I wanted to add was to improve, to keep a fairness to the teams. Because this is a prime example. What if we're all on a team and Moth is better than me? And I was the VIP last round, and then all of a sudden, next round, the officer, and now next round, Moth is the officer, and we're down by 1. That would suck because I just took one of the best players off the board. So what I would do is, what we would like to do is calculate who does the worst on your team, and whoever's doing after the first 2 rounds. About the third round, whoever's the person that does the worst on your team, kill wise or whatever, we will make that determination through calculation. That person will become the officer again. So it helps keeps your best players on the playing field to move them to the objective to get you out of there, and that's pretty much it.
So my first impressions are that singling out the worst player on the team doesn't feel quite right, even though I can kind of see where you're going with it. I still don't know if that's a really good idea. They might get discouraged if they're always the I think it was the officer or whatnot, because they were the worst on their team.
Yeah, well, that's why I said on the document that we might do that, and we might think about it, right? And we only do that after the third round. Like out of like everybody gets 5 turns. Mm-hmm. So out of the 5 turns, it will happen by the third round to try to help out balance the team. Because it would really suck if all of a sudden, you're the best person, and now we went through 2 rounds, and all of a sudden on the third round, you're the VIP. We're down our best player. So, I mean, we give the benefit of the doubt the first 2 rounds, but by the third round, man, if you're not picking up the pace, if this is a competitive game mode, in competitive world, people don't want to hear that, they don't want to hear that. This is you better be good. If you're on a team, you better be good. And I'm not saying it does discourage that, but we try to keep the balance in between the two. It wouldn't be good for Team Ducky. That's funny. But other than that, thank you, Hassas. I think this is really not. This game mode is clearly not for for the casual person. It's not. This is a strictly competitive game mode. I think the ones that I talk about, the Zombies and Team Zombie, that's fun game modes. But the Intel/Demolition, which I wrote on here, and the Escort, this is strictly competitive. So I don't want to, confuse the two. So that's pretty much what it is, and that's it. If anybody want to comment, go ahead, shoot out.
I'm just kind of worried about the flow of the mode with the maps. And again, this is more practical than it is conceptual, but just kind of worried about, how angles would work and how all this different stuff will come into play, where the extraction zone will be, all of that sort of stuff. And again, this isn't yes or no, it will or will not work. It's just something to keep in mind that the maps might not be, properly set up for this specific mode. Not saying that it's a bad mode, just saying.
No, not all maps. Not all maps. But that's why I said app definitely one. Park definitely one. Bigger maps. Right. And that's another thing. Not all game modes need to work on all maps. It's not like that in other.
No, of course. I'm just saying.
So we will definitely. That would definitely. Oh yeah, I definitely thought about that. That would definitely not to be the case, because it will make sense to have it on a bigger map, because now you have to strategically move through that map. Make sure that you hide make sure the person who is the officer needs to hide and move methodically along with the rest of his team. So it's just you run off by yourself and you're dead round over. So it's like. It's a high risk reward, but Team Lab versus Team Hit. They're having a war in the chat right now. It's throwing me off. I'm not going to look at the chat anymore. So anybody else? I think just go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think that just for simplicity's sake, or just to make it a bit maybe flow a bit better. I don't know if throwing the red smoke at the extraction point or into the extraction point is particularly necessary. I think just for flow's sake, it might just be, the officer must just stand, at least the officer, whether or not their team members are there or not. But just at least that they're standing there, and maybe a bar will show up on the progress or something like that.
Well, I don't know. I guess the smoke, because smoke signals something.
Right, I can see
and
that, yeah.
And also it's for cover, and you want to be more tactical. Like the one thing in Bullet Force, well, once again being a tactical game mode, the one thing about Bullet Force is in a lot of other games, they don't. And I guess because I've seen games in the past that does it. A lot of game modes do not force you to pick what weapon or what loadout that you carry to complete a objective in the game mode. Like I miss those days. I played games where when you came as a team, we had to say there was a game that I used to play, and I would have loved this game mode in Forward Assault. Right? This one is called Extraction, where the terrorist starts on the inside of the fortress, and they have some hostages held up in a jail cell. And our goal as the SEAL team, counter-terrorists, is to penetrate this fortress, get in, get them out the jail cell, and retrieve them. But in order to do that, each one of us have to carry a different loadout to critique this. We need some people to have flashbangs. We need some people to have smoke. We need some people to have C4, right? So everybody has to work together to make that happen. In a lot of game modes nowadays, all you need to do is have a sniper and throw grenades. And it just doesn't feel to me like, you gotta really like explore the possibilities of who's good at what. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I look at these game modes. I try to say, you know what? Maybe it's super competitive, but for the people, it'll be fun. But yeah, that's trading loadouts and stuff like that is something that we need to definitely explore. Yeah, you need to smoke. I see you, King. You need to smoke because you want to cover you don't want him to get sniped. Imagine if somebody was just sniping the site.
Yeah.
And then they're standing there. They'll get shot right away and game is over. So the smoke is the trigger. And by the way, once you throw the smoke, the enemy on the map will see that the person never shows up on the map. The only thing that shows up on the map is gunfire. And the only thing that shows up, the officer doesn't show up. The only time that anything shows up on the map is either gunfire with unsilenced weapons, or when you go to extract, all of a sudden now the extract area lights up on the map. So everybody knows A is the one that they're extracting at. And you only have 20 seconds before you get out. So if a person is all the way on the other side of the map and can't haul it to get there in time, it's game over. So,
yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty much it. I know, Clint, we've been on here for a long time.
Yeah, we just hit the 1 hour, 2 hour mark. Well, just about.
That's okay.
Oh boy.
Fun times.
Yep.
Fun times.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm good as long as you guys are. Well, we've gone over the game modes. We're going to set up a Google form, and this has been good to just get to know some of you guys a little better and have a little chat. And so make sure you fill out the form to get your reward. I'm every 2 weeks I want to come up with a different topic. So if you guys have topics you want to discuss, please let me know on Twitter or DM me on Twitter. And we want to keep these lively, and we're experimenting. I'm experimenting with a few different formats. This was different than the 2 weeks ago we did. And so I think that's about it. So
I want to talk about guns next week. Guns.
Yeah, guns.
Guns and guns. Who wants to talk about guns next week?
I know I would. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah,
guns there's so many different, like the Thor, and like so many different guns in different varieties from different times and different. It's so. That's a topic that's like so OP. That's insane. It's so much fun.
Well, we could, we can definitely talk about guns. I know that was the second most topic. Like that was the second most wanted topic on our last survey was guns. So
we talked about seasons.
Seasons, okay.
Yes, Seasons is coming soon. We're working on it.
Yep, more attachments.
I like what High Status said, attachments. I agree with them. Yes, there should be more attachments, especially, just overall all the guns. There should be a lot of variety, and I think what would be cool, I know this is game mode's going a little bit off topic, but, should be able to change the reticle of your red dot sight, like maybe to a blue dot or a smiley face,
You know what?
Like your crosshairs is a different type of crosshairs customization.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things we do. We talked about it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that so many people wanted customized crosshairs.
Because it fits this. I'm not surprised because it fits. Everybody does things differently, but even though it's the same action, and they want to customize how they play.
Yeah.
And it's just it adds that to it. It's like an element that's not there before. Some people will say, "Hey, I like the regular crosshair," and some people are like, that sucks. I don't like that crosshair. I use this one. So it's just
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the works that we could discuss, but we're gonna do this survey and then we're gonna do we got a whole lot of other things to talk about.
Yep.
Oh boy.
What about moving up the cap, the level cap from 100 to 200?
That is coming. Yeah. Yep.
Right. How about doing that and then adding new perks to go along with that? So it's just not you're just leveling up. You're getting new perks to the game that balance and counteract some other things. So there's a lot of different things that's, the seasons, in which seasons is going to reward everybody that participates.
Yep. And we're also, people are talking about adding bug fixes instead of new features. And that is something we haven't done a lot of bug fixing lately. We've mostly just added new things. So we need to probably slow down and fix some of the bugs that we have, and we'll add more of that in the next release.
Are there any plans to improve things like hit registration, the net code, possibly the tick rate of the servers, or anything like that? Because I know that's been a hotly debated thing.
Okay, so the server, you're talking server lag, right?
Hit registration. Server lag and
hit registration. Okay, yeah, two different things.
Well, a bunch of things, I guess, but just the net code in general.
Okay, so the hitbox, I've heard a lot of people say hitboxes aren't accurate, and
I'm not sure if it hits boxes per se. I think the hitboxes. Are you talking about like the player model hitboxes?
Yeah.
No. Oh, really? I never had no issues with that.
I haven't noticed a lot with that. It could possibly need improvement that I just haven't noticed. I'm talking about things like super bullets, maybe possibly lag compensation, stuff to do with like bullets not registering, teleportation, and all that sort of stuff.
You know what's so funny? In the very beginning, Lucas added a way to stop that, and nobody uses it. If you create a match and don't allow a certain amount of ping in the match, then you wouldn't experience that.
The problem isn't ping. Of course, ping is a factor when it comes to these things, but there's no information like what tick rate of the game running at per se, and that sort of stuff. Like we don't know that sort of thing, and so it's hard to gauge whether or not your bullet. Like if I'm on two different, so I've done this before. If I'm on two different devices on the same network, they have no lag, no ping per se, or at least the ping is very, very small. I've still noticed issues to where bullets don't register and things are teleporting and other things like that. So that's what I'm talking about.
And I say that I'm a firm believer, and I ask a lot of people this, that for me personally, I have my device on my network, and I just want to, and I'm not saying this because I'm part of the company. Before I was part of the company, I was a player, and I never experienced like that because I don't know, because maybe I have a great internet. My ping is always like 22, 24, which is not the most realistic thing, and I get that too as well. But, and I'm not saying that we can't do server maintenance as well too, but there has to be some type of onus and where you can't expect somebody to be playing on a 2 megabyte upload, 2 down, expect to have a great experience shooting at somebody because of latency. So you can have the best equipment in the world, but if you have a bad or slow internet speed, the latency will kick in. Just like if you're streaming, you got the best streaming equipment in the world, but if your connection is bad, that will cause issues. And latency plays a lot of, because remember, the server's communicating back. You're shooting somebody and he's communicating them issue back to the server to say to the server, hey, you know what? That person has shot 3 bullets, made contact, and need to send it back. If there's any type of latency in between that and it's constant and that ping goes up higher and higher, then that creates that issue of hit detection and stuff of that nature. Hence why I never really experienced it, because my ping is always good. And the funny thing is, I experienced that. The only time I experienced that is when I go all the way to Japan. No, not Japan. So it's the other server where my ping goes up high because of the distance, and thus I start to experience exactly what you were saying. But that's just one reason. I'm not saying that's the main reason. That's just one. But it's something that we could look at. And that's the thing. You know, it's perception and reality. Because I myself on the Discord every day, I have people tell me, oh, you know, my game is lagging slow. And I said, okay, do me a favor, record video of you playing the game and use this app called fast.com and show me your ping. And when they show it to me, I'm like, bro, your connection is extremely slow.
No, absolutely. I totally.
So the perception and reality, there might be an issue. There might be an issue, and it's probably an issue. I don't know that, but what happened is the people that are reporting it.
Right. No,
I just need all the information. I need all the information to determine, because you know how it's not the boy cry wolf, but it's more of.
No, it's just they don't understand that it's on their
right.
end. No, that's totally.
Right, and we need to distinguish the two.
And so, I totally get it. It's just very hard to isolate players with really good connections and get that exact issue. I'm just saying that someone like me, like when I'm playing with good internet, and I notice that most of the people I'm playing against have, let's say, around 50 ping, and I still get some of those issues, that an issue may exist. It's just something to keep in mind, and obviously, differentiate between players who report it, but they have terrible connection, and that's the issue, instead of
right.
So, and also I think providing players with more information, like we don't know, like I think are some servers dedicated? Are some servers peer-to-peer? Are they, what's the tick rate of the servers? And
but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How is that going to help you in any way to improve your quality of streaming? I'm just curious. How's that going to help?
Am I streaming?
Yeah. Oh, well, not streaming, but playing the game. If we tell you if it's a dedicated server or it's not.
Well, if it's a peer-to-peer connection, I would want to leave. Like, I know it's not going to be as responsive or as not predictable, but as good as a dedicated server. At least I would assume so. So if I join a server, if I see on the server list that this is a dedicated server, this is a peer-to-peer server, I would be more likely to try and fill up slots in the dedicated server. That's closest to me, at least.
Okay.
Now, of course, if the issue is if people don't notice it as much, like let's say the amount of people who are reporting this issue, is a very small percentage of the community, then I completely understand why it wouldn't make sense, to put resources behind trying to fix the supposed issue, especially when, like you said, some of these people who are reporting the issue are playing on bad connections, or maybe on a server halfway across the world. So I think just to even taking a quick look at maybe some reports that maybe do have good connections and have proper.
That's what we're doing. Yeah. But that's, you know what? Let me say this in the chat. That's why I told people, when I see that myself, I don't ever denounce them or not listen to them. Yeah. But I need proof. I need factuals. I cannot go off of, my connection is bad, and then 90% of the time when I dig deeper, it's exactly what I thought it was, and it's frustrating. Like we need to resolve. In order to resolve, we need concrete answers. So this is why I ask people, if you can't. And what happened? Yeah. So basically, it's just one of those things where, if enough people cry this, we just need to verify that it's true.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to. And then we could address it. So to everybody out there, if you're having that issue, just like I said, record gameplay of yourself playing. If you're on PC, Doom did it already. And Doom realized that his connection wasn't that good, but he did it for somebody else. And then we realized, and then we tried to talk to the other company that hosts the game to see what we can do. But this is the whole thing. We needed that data. We needed the factuals. We don't need opinions when it comes to this particular thing. Because all opinion does is throw smoke screen, and then we're wasting a valuable time chasing, the ghost, pretty much. I mean, Clint, you have anything to say? I'm sorry. I feel like I just jumped in and just took over right away.
No, that's right. We need to get the actual information.
I know it's the engine is Unity, and it's adding the multiplayer components is sometimes not the cleanest thing from what I know. So yeah.
Well, it works. It works well as long as people have a good connection.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, guys.
Yeah,
well, I've got to.
Yeah. Yep.
I've got to drop off, but I want to.
All right.
I appreciate everybody's help and all you guys on Skype to talk about this.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
You know what?
Yeah, I really love being a part of this.
Good.
Marv.
Glad to hear.
Marv, you're the one with the rush idea, correct?
Yep.
We need it to be typed out so we can put on the form. Because right now I don't only see rush. Yeah, so please get that to Clint as soon as possible.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I hoping I can find what I wrote out from my video, but if not, I can provide a short. Well, I can provide links and websites to how from the game that I got it from, if that would be okay, or do you want
Nah, that wouldn't help because we need to take it and put it in a form for people to read.
Yeah.
Okay, so they could thoroughly understand what's going down.
Yes,
and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need mine too, since I suggested those 2 game modes earlier?
Yeah, whatever game modes that we discussed. Whatever the game modes that Clint picked here is the ones that we're going to throw on the form. And we might add 1 or 2 going forth, depending if we find anything from my mod. Shout out to my mod squad team, because I asked them to come up with game modes as well. So we're going to see if we could add anything from that list from the mods as well. So we'll definitely put a smorgasbord of game modes.
Where do I send the game mode description to?
You can actually, I guess you could put it on the Google Doc and just share it in the chat in the Skype chat that we're all in right now for the moment.
I'll paste it in the Skype chat for the 2 game modes I talked about. Then you can paste it in there. Sounds good to me.
Right. And give some good detail on how it works and yada yada. We're good to go.
And is it okay if I plug myself in real quick for my channel?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Every one of y'all.
Yeah, all right. Tonight, me, Sativial, I'm going to be streaming tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, all right? So if you want to see some PC sniping, flicks, snipes, all that, come on by. Check out my stream, check out my channel. I would love for you to join. I love the game, and PC represent.
All right.
I can't wait until we get crossplay activated again. I'm about to put the smack on these PC people. I'm calling it out now. I'm getting my mobile squad together, and we're about to run havoc. That's it.
No, all you're gonna do. No, all your team is gonna do. Your team is just gonna be camping the whole time because that's what mobile players do.
Definitely not.
Mobile players, all they do is camp.
Oh, okay. You know what? We could take this offline because right now mobile players do not camp. We rush like crazy. The nerve of this dude. You hear him in the chat, y'all? Y'all hear this dude right now? Oh my God.
Represent.
You know what? I'm throwing flashbangs. I'm gonna be that sweaty troll that you're gonna hate.
Where would you like me to? Where would you like me to send the game mode information?
Yeah, if you'll just do the same thing John said. Just make a doc and share it with us, and then Hit will grab them all and put them all together.
So, and not just like put it in the Skype chat, or would you like me to do something else? I'm
You
sorry,
put it on
I
Google.
missed what
You put it on a Google Doc and post the link and give us rights to it and just post the link inside of the chat and that's it.
Okay.
If you don't have to put security, just create just a Google Doc and share it right here in the chat, and then we'll take it from there. And tag me and Clint. That's it.
Okay.
All right. I
Alright,
just
bro?
posted all the information directly as a message in the Skype chat, if that's all right.
Doc, because it's easier. That's the Skype kind of crunches everything together. Just put it on a doc and send it to us. It's way easier for us to add it.
Got you.
All right? Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I love the debate because you know what? In the end of the day, debating brings about the most important thing: good results. So,
Yep,
thank you very much.
it does.
Appreciate y'all here. Appreciate y'all talking.
Yep.
So, just want to say that we need to do this more often, Clint. I had fun.
Yeah, good. I did too.
Got to get high status on here too. Next time you get Bloody Duck and high status, get some YouTubers up in here too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
mix it up.
The YouTubers.
Well,
get all.
Yeah, I know you're here.
That'd be fun. All
Bloody
right,
Duck,
guys.
you missed my conversation earlier, so I'll reach out to you.
Okay.
YT tournament.
Yep. So also
All right.
plug for Project Gamma if you haven't downloaded Project Gamma yet. We're making some good progress on that, and I think probably at the beginning of the year we'll be ready for streamers. We're working on all the polish and making it look good, and we're making a lot of big changes right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's looking good so far.
Very excited about the Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the project. So matter of fact, shout out to Josh because let me get off this stream before I say something I ain't supposed to say. Clint and Josh dropped a bomb on me today that had me dancing in my living room. Okay? I'm just gonna tell you, Clint knows what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna get off this stream before I say something wrong or bad. Goodbye, y'all, because I'm excited. I'm excited about what's coming next, and I need to go before I say something wrong. Goodbye. Bye. I'm out.
All right. See you.
All right. Okay, guys. Thanks. Have a great rest of your night, and we will talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good night.
You see, gang.
Bye-bye.
See ya.